Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and tonight we're going to do a quick video here. I got to prep a casting or an old broken casting so that it can go off to the foundry here on Sunday, and this is Friday night, so I may have to do some dressing on it tomorrow or whatever, but I should be able to finish it complete tonight. Today I had to get on the lathe and I had to chuck up a 4x4, and I had to whittle out a piece of dead wood to go in and be part of this casting here. And of course, I hate to turn wood. I got a big blanket and everything else on there. I ran the vacuum cleaner, and I just don't do it. In fact, I don't even have wood style bits, and you know, I could have put a high speed in there with a lot of spoon on it and got some good action, but I was able to whittle it out anyway. All right. So hence, I was actually making a little joke on my Facebook page today, and I gave this little clip here. Welcome to Termite Machine Works. No splinter too long, no knots too tough. Okay, all fun aside, let's start. This has got a crack in run along the side here, just like the this is a Cabo. I don't know what size this is. It's probably a around a 40-footer. And the last set I think we had, it was like on a 32-footer, something like that. But they have a problem with the castings in a short period of time where they were cracking along the hub here. So anyway, we're recasting a set for this boat, and Paul came over and he brought me this piece here. He drove down and got it. I think it was in Connecticut or something like that. All right, so I'm prepping this so he can take it to the foundry. Now there's a couple things that you need to do. Okay, now this wood piece right here is actually dead wood, and the section of sand that they're going to cast and be the dummy afterwards, I forget the name of that. I don't know everything about casting, but I do know what it takes to go ahead and prep this out so that they can draw out a good mold for it. So Sprit or whatever, you know, I've been thinking all day. I knew the name of it until today. So anyway, I got some Bondo and I got some other things. One of the general rules that we're going to shy away from 100% on the rule, and the rule is that castings shrink 3/16 of an inch per foot when you're casting bronze. And I have a piece of plexiglass here that I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pad the bottom. Okay, but this particular strut goes up into pockets, and I'm going to hold back 50 thousandths on that because I want to make sure that we don't go too far the other way, and they're not going to want to work it up in there farther. They got it, you know, cleaned out, but we don't know how hard it is. And if it's in the pocket, you can't come up there and massage some of the pockets, and you can't grind off of the palm very easy. So I'm compensating somewhat for the shrinkage, but I'm leaving myself a little bit so I know that I'm going to be on the minimum. And now I was requested to do this. Okay, so I got a piece that's almost the size of the palm, a little bit bigger all the way around. And we're going to fill these holes in. There's also an area right in here where they got in with a grinder wheel, and there's a lip going all the way around here. So when I go to fill these in, I'm just going to fill it right off to the surface right here, so that when you pull in and out, we don't have a lip that catches here. Let me grab my straight edge here also. All right, I got my straight edge here, my 2-foot scale or rule. Now this front face is not flat across here. It does rock. This is called draft. And they'll take the casting and they'll set it up after we're all done and we have the dead wood locked in here, and this is all filled. They'll take a rope or a string and they'll put it underneath here, and they'll find the exact balance point, and then they'll drill and tap a couple little holes that do the lifting. All right, and then they'll be able to go ahead and lift the thing properly in and out, because you gotta have a perfect split line. So when you have a perfect split line, this angle front and back, that's the draft. You got, when you lift it out, you don't want any restrictions. You can't have it fatter at the bottom than the top. You have to have room to be able to pull this thing in and out. So those are a couple pointers that kind of set the guidelines of how you prep out a strut. Pretty much the strut is self-explanatory on itself, but you gotta look for little flaws like that, and also make sure that that draft is still in there and somebody didn't grind that flat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lock this in with 2 set screws here. And I'm going to set this just flush at the front. This is wood, so I know they're just about the same thickness. I think this one's fine there. I know I'm gonna smear Bondo in where I need to, front and back here. The bearings are brand new. They went to put them in there, and of course they dimpled them, and that's when they saw them spread and crack, and that's when they started thinking about going ahead and recasting these. All right, so I'll be able to smear Bondo in around there, and then I'll just take the flapper wheel or the little sanding disc afterwards. I'll probably do the sanding and stuff on it tomorrow morning so that I can do it outside. So I've actually been working off and on with the traffic going in and out, because I officially took I took my clothes for the winter signs off, and then boom, everybody's in here. So it's like a revolving door, and I got from that slider to about right here in my shop with a vacuum, lifting the mats up and completely doing a full-on clean. So it feels good to be in here. And so all right, let's go ahead and let's mix up some of that Bondo, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to smear it in on the face here, and then lay it down on that pad, and then I think we can do everything from up above, and we ought to be good to go. Why is it when you need a 1-inch putty knife you can't find where you put yours? Okay. This is probably one of the easiest materials that I find that kind of blend up and kind of fill in. Easy to sand off with a coarse grit paper. And you can find it at any Benny's or auto store around. Okay, let's go over and see what we can do. Now once that hardens on there, I'll be able to take that sander and just, I'll be able to fly that plastic right off of there. So it's kind of a nice material to go ahead and play with there. All right, let's go ahead and cram some in these holes here. We'll get those all filled in. There's probably other fillers. I've even seen what I refer to as monkey shit caulking or whatever, kind of filled in. It kind of somewhat hardens. This is starting to harden up already. I'm just going to get the bulk of this in here, and I'll do another batch to kind of get the smooth stuff in there. I'll put a little less hardener in it. I don't want any high spots here. All right. We might be able to sand that tonight. All right. Get our 1/4 inch thick 1 inch putty knife now. We cleaned off our pallet and our 3-inch wide putty knife. One of our favorites. I really do like this tool, and it's tapered on the one side, so it really does a good. It makes a good scraper as well. Okay, let's not go so hard or heavy on the hardener this time. We'll just put in a small dab here. Hey, it's only $4 for the can of Bondo. Okay, so this is not like a high dollar expense. Okay, you're gonna include it in on your price for your tooling and whatever it takes to help make the pattern. Okay. Okay. Okay, a little bit on the positive side there. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to take a pinch, and we're trying to fill that. There's a radius at the bottom of that palm, and when we grind that plexiglass to fit, we want this edge to be sharp down there, and when we dress off the casting, that's when you go ahead and determine what you want on there. Nice to have a little time to work with this stuff and not That's the first F-bomb I think I ever blew in here. Okay. I'll just move the whole blanket and everything else. Okay, that's gonna be great. All right, I'll get back turned around here. Okay, you see why I had somebody else do my Porsche? No, like, hey, the guy always goes, you know it's going to look worse before it starts looking better, huh? Well, that's starting to harden up on me now. Right, I should have hit that crack first, huh? Well, I'll get some rolled in there anyway. It's hardly a crack. This is the better of the two struts. So all right. We'll give that. All right, we'll let that tack up. It definitely looks like I got enough on there. The thing is, you don't want to get finishing it and then have any low spots, and I think that's going to be a nice blend. It's definitely going to be better than it was. And I'm not going to be able to do that, I don't think. That's not going to stick. Why even try? I think I got pretty much all on that I want. I'm going to let it sit overnight because it definitely, with the heat of the wood stove and everything else, will be plenty of cure, and then I'll just be able to really get on this thing and get it knocked out. And if it needs any light touch up after that, which I don't really foresee anything. I've got a good heavy layer here and here to take care of that little valley, and it looks like I'm solid all the way around the edge, and a positive means to where I'll be able to follow that contour, that draft at both sides, and it'll be sharp to that plastic, and then just go kiss it in like a 1/16 of an inch or something like that, and we'll let it go. So let's let it harden up, and I'll see you in the morning. All right, we're out here. We got our strut out here. We got our sawhorses, piece of wood, so we can roll this thing around. I got my DeWalt here with the probably 60 grit paper on a disc, and I got my little juniper here, 90 degree. This is like 80 grit paper on here, and then I have a Scotch Brite in case I need it. I just thought I'd be able to come around here. All right, we're all set. We got a mast that fits and holds us tight, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right. Now, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down, because I want to trim this plastic and this edge all the way around on the base. All right, now let's go ahead and let's hit the surface on here. Just trying to feather it in. All right, that's pretty cool. All right. Yesterday's word was core. I couldn't remember what this dead wood we put in here is so that a sand core can be made and dropped in between there, so when it's poured around there. All right. I'm happy with this right here. When Prue comes and picks it up, he'll let me know if it absolutely needs anything from me. Other than that, the foundry can finish touching up where, you know, I left off. At least this gives a really good rough. And when this comes back, I'll bring you guys back into the video that and show the completion and the boring that I do in here. We'll reclaim the matching bolt hole pattern and such right from this pattern here. We may have to take some of this putty off of here so I can get some measurements. It is standard. It's always in from the edge and then the spacing. Excuse me. And a couple jack screws help hold it in alignment. When you get it aligned just right, then you go ahead and you soft mud it and you get it screwed up into there. And then after that, then you can lock it down hard and put it to bed, blend it off, paint it with bottom paint and all that. So anyway, until next video, get her done.